Hansel, CEO of Smith Electric Vehicles, joins us right now. Getting set for the D.C. Auto Show. Bryan, welcome to the show.
How are you guys?
Very good. Now, Bryan, you have been in the electric car business. This surprised me when I read this. For years and years, it seems like from a concept standpoint, we've been talking about electric cars for 20, 25 years. But from a real practical standpoint, only the last couple of years. What has your business been doing here over the last 20 and 30 years to kind of get ready for this moment?
Well, we're focused on commercial electric trucks. So if you look at the application, really where it was based is in the UK. So United Kingdom is very common to have home delivery for your milk. So milk floats was the big product for the last 30 or 40 years because an electric vehicle works extremely well in that application.
So how long have electric cars been out and running and productive?
Well, I mean 80 years is the history that we have, and it's all electric vehicles. But again, it's been in commercial applications versus consumer. So we're not worrying about public charge points. You're talking about coming back to a warehouse every night, having a place to plug them in. So in the applications that we started with, it was lead-acid batteries were adequate because it's short routes, it was very defined. So the expectations weren't real high in terms of the overall speed of the vehicle or range, but today, obviously, that expectation is growing.
All right, Bryan, now it's the Smith Nude, and that's your new commercial truck that you're going to be displaying at the auto show, I imagine, in D.C. Tell us what's different and special about the Smith Nude.
I think the exciting part is that it's based on a tremendous platform, so it's a great vehicle to start with. I think even in our own history and a lot of even some of the vehicles you see at the show today are built from the ground up, and they're not the most refined vehicle. It costs a lot of money to bring a great vehicle to market, so we were able to partner with a company out of Europe to actually make our cabs, and now we're just taking and building the chassis and putting all the electrification in it. So with the improvement in battery technology, the range that it offers, marrying it into a great fundamental truck, so you get into it's just a good quality truck. We've really gotten a tremendous response from our consumer.
So, sir, who's diving in and biting? What kind of customers do you have taking you up on this? Because to your point, you got to have a place to plug it in. I guess it saves you on the diesel cost at the end.
Well, it's a substantial operating savings. I mean, if you look at, it's probably 80% cheaper on a per mile basis to drive an electric commercial truck versus a diesel. But so the people we focus on are those people that have a depot-based logistics style. So just as their business, every night they bring their trucks back, they fill them in their warehouse, and they go out for the day and they make deliveries. So whether that's, a PepsiCo with their Frito-Lay division doing potato chips, or a Coca-Cola with their beverage, or parcel delivery. It's people that have a consistent duty cycle. They know where their trucks are going every day. It's predictable. It's a perfect application for electric vehicles.
Bryan, why is it taking the automotive companies, the GMs, the Fords, the Chryslers, so long to come to market with a real viable alternative here on the electric side?
Well, I think the challenges are still pretty daunting. I'm an advocate for the industry. I think we have chosen a space that gives us an opportunity to succeed because it's predictable and it's focused. I think for the consumer, though, we have pretty high expectations, and so for the amount of flexibility we expect, the performance we expect, it's a pretty high hurdle. And, given, just the amount of time it takes to replenish a battery is not like filling a tank of gas. So there's just some fundamental barriers that exist in the broader commercial market. But I think, our focus, and that's why we take very seriously, our fundamental is we think that through our efforts and our customers' adoption, we're going to really start to build the foundation for an EV industry. And again, we're getting adoption today. We're getting great companies that are excited about it. And I think if we do the right things, we start to build the economy of scale within the industry to bring costs down and performance up because people are willing to invest in it from a supply chain to really make it make sense for the consumer.
Bryan, you think this is going to actually replace regular gasoline-fueled vehicles someday?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to predict. I don't have a crystal ball. But I think if anybody's ever driven one, they're phenomenal. I mean, it truly is a great experience. They're a fraction of the cost to operate. The energy, obviously, is replenishable. We can use energy that we create here in our country to actually generate it. So I think if you deal with the environmental issues, there's just so many drivers that say that it's going to make sense. It's going to be a number of years, I think, before you and I have one probably in our garage in terms of a personal vehicle.
Yeah.
You have to be, I think, pretty focused on wanting one today in order to put up with some of the barriers. But from a commercial environment where we're focused, I'm not asking Coca-Cola to change anything to use our vehicles versus a diesel because it's the same identical operating mentality that they have for their current fleet, but yet they get all the benefits.
Brian, I think one thing that concerns people whenever they hear of any type of green technology, they think of government subsidies. They think, boy, either this company couldn't make it or they couldn't, the bottom line wouldn't be there without government subsidies. How much is the government involved in your business, whether it's through tax breaks, whether it's through tax breaks from your customers?
Well, I got to be honest. I mean, it is pretty fundamental. I mean, as you guys mentioned, I mean, the EV industry has been around for 30 years, and it's talked about, and there's some fundamental barriers that exist. Without some subsidies to get this, the scale starting, right? Get the battery production up, get some of the economies of scale in the motor production, some other areas, you're never going to have an economic product. So for us, it has been pretty fundamental. We've had some tremendous support from the administration. But again, we're talking about subsidizing a few hundred vehicles, and for us, that really is all it's going to take to get to where we know we can be, directly competitive with diesel and deliver a really solid lifetime value for the customer.
Brian, you are the perfect spokesperson for this. I would be the girl who forgets to plug in her car. Bryan Hansel, CEO of Smith Electric Vehicles down in D.C. Thank you so much for being with us. Good luck at the show, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
I'm telling you, I would totally forget to plug the car in.
It would be a train wreck, wouldn't it?
You'd
have to have one of those Tata cars so you could do the whole Flintstone thing, because you would have no power. You'd have to run with it.